Back in my chair. Good morning. We're here on April the 3rd, 2017. We're reading Deuteronomy 23 through chapter 25 today. Today's reading. Again, we get to hear God's heart. You know, Jesus came to fulfill the law. He didn't do away with the law, but he fulfilled the law, and we're getting to read a lot about the law. So we're getting to read a lot of the things that applies to our everyday life if we will allow it to. Are we bound by the law? Absolutely not. Are we free from the law? You bet we are. But once again, we're reading in this one-year Bible study, and part of my motivation when I started doing this many years ago was I was just telling God I wanted to know his heart. I didn't want it to be filtered through religion. I didn't want a denomination to tell me what I could and couldn't do. I don't mind anybody telling me the truth about God, but I don't want it to be twisted by man. I want it to be what God says. And certainly in today's reading, we get to read what God says, and what God says is good, and what is a successful life, and the things that is good for us and the things that are bad for us. And that's what we're reading about in Deuteronomy. Luke chapter 10, verses 13 through 37 is extremely powerful. In fact, this is a portion of chapter 10 that has really impacted me this particular year. 2017, there's been several occasions where these scriptures have risen up for me and has helped me in a certain situation that I happen to find myself in at the particular time. But he had sent out the 72, Jesus had the 72 disciples. He had his 12 chosen ones, but there were 72 he actually sent out. And I love the words in this chapter. In fact, I'll just read some of it to you. It's Jesus talking to them. The one who hears you hears me, and the one who rejects you rejects me, and the one who rejects me rejects him who sent me. You know, so many of us walk around with a spirit of rejection on us. At some point in our life, somewhere, someone has said something that hurt us deeply. I mean, it can be a school teacher back in the first grade that told you that you'd never be as smart as your brother or sister. It can be a grandparent who favored one child over another, grandchild over another. It can be a mom or a dad telling you that you were a mistake. It can be any number of things. I mean, it can be those drastic things, or it can be very subtle things that causes a spirit of rejection. Here's the truth. We're all rejected. At some point in time, we've all been rejected. We felt rejected at birth because we don't have the revelation knowledge of who lives on the inside of us and what Jesus has done for us at that point in time. So there's a feeling of rejection on us from birth even. And then you counter that or compound, that's the word I'm looking for, by a parent who doesn't acknowledge you, who favors another sibling over you, or says mean, hateful things. I mean, just a number of things. You know, you have your first love and they reject you. Rejection can be all kinds of things. And then once that spirit of rejection sets on you, then you feel rejected in all circumstances. I mean, somebody can just look at you wrong and you fly mad. And you later on you question yourself, what in the world did that make me so mad for? You can just be going about life and somebody uses the wrong tone of voice with you, and the next thing you know, you don't have anything, you've separated yourself from them. And let's talk about our marriages. We have a spirit of rejection on us because somewhere somebody sometime said something to us that allowed this stronghold of rejection on us, and the next thing you know, you find you're pushing your spouse away before they can push you away because you don't want to be rejected. I mean, it gets deep, folks. It gets really deep. And what you have to do is you have to really bow your head and submit yourself to God and say, okay, Lord, where am I operating in a spirit of rejection? Where does that spirit of rejection track me? And how do I respond ungodly because I have felt rejected in the past? And as you learn to identify those areas and you open yourself up and say, okay, God, show me these areas where I've been so deeply rejected and that it's impacting my relationships today. This is one of the scriptures that can help you understand that God hasn't rejected you, that he loves you, that he sent his son to die for you. And the scripture right here, Luke chapter 10, verse 16, the one who hears you hears me. And the one who rejects you rejects me. Then all of a sudden, we don't take it quite so personal. Well, did they reject me? Well, I mean, chances are, yes, you've been rejected. Many, many, many times you've been rejected. But when you know what the truth is, and this is the truth sets you free from that spirit of rejection, because when you know the truth is that if they reject you, they're rejecting him. And so all of a sudden, it just takes on a whole new meaning, and you can open yourself up and let God heal you from that. And so you go through your own deliverance and your own healing of these strongholds, and then you're ready to step out into ministry, and you're ready, in fact, you're so full of God, you just can't keep it in yourself. And you're ready to be that light up on a hill that draws people to Jesus Christ. And you get bold, and the next thing you know, you're in the grocery store and you reach out to somebody that you feel in your heart you're supposed to reach out to, and you tell them about Jesus Christ, and they reject you. Well, again, it goes back to this. If they reject you, they're rejecting him. And we don't have to take on that rejection then. We know that they're rejecting him, and it's not about us. It's not about us. It's never been about us. The one who hears you hears me, and the one who rejects you rejects me, and the one who rejects me rejects him who sent me. It's all about him. It always has been. It always will be all about him. It goes on then to talk about our authority. So what things are causing us problems in today's life? On April the 3rd, 2017, what things are causing us problems? The 72 returned with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons are subject to us in your name. And Jesus said to them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you. Do you suffer from fear? Right there, those statements should take all fear away. Nothing shall hurt you. I give you all authority against the enemy. Nevertheless, do not rejoice in this, that the spirits are subject to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven. Wow. I mean, these are words to live by. These are words to overcome anxiety, to overcome anxiousness, to overcome stress, to overcome fear, because he's given us his authority against the enemy. What's coming against you? You speak to that enemy to get his hands off you. And you speak to the righteousness, the living God that lives on the inside of you, to rise up in wisdom and to rise up in glory and holiness and righteousness, to cast off all those things that are not of him. And we have that authority, and we utilize our faith. The same faith that we use, that we know that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, of a woman who had never known a man. And here come from her, Jesus Christ. That same faith is the faith that we exercise, that God's going to take care of our finances, that God's going to take care of our children, that God's going to take care of this struggle, of that struggle, of what job you may have, where the next dollar's coming from. A number of things. I mean, any problem that you've got, it says, let me just read it to you again. Jesus said, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. He's telling you that he understands the enemy that comes against you, the enemy that comes to steal, kill, and destroy you. Jesus is saying, don't tell me about the enemy. I know the enemy because I saw Satan fall from the heavens. Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions. That's anything that would come against us, any poison that would attempt to come against us, and over all the power of the enemy. All. all the power of the enemy. I'm telling you, I needed this word this morning. All power of the enemy he's given us authority over, and nothing shall hurt you. Wow, what a powerful word that is. Nothing shall harm you. Nothing shall harm you. You just got to trust him. You just got to trust him. Proverbs 12 through 14. Whoever is wicked covets the spoil of evildoers, but the root of the righteous bears fruit. An evil man is ensnared by the transgression of his lips, but the righteous escapes from trouble. From the fruit of his mouth, a man is satisfied with good, and the work of a man's hand comes back to him. That just fits what we were just saying. Jesus had told us that he's given us all authority over them. And what was he talking to? He was talking to the 72 that said even the demons are subject to us in Jesus' name. He's talking to us about how to exercise that authority, and we exercise that authority through the words of our mouth, or we exercise the curses. I mean, if all we can do is complain about how sick we are, then we're going to be sick. If all we can do is complain about how much money we need, then we're going to feel lack. But if we start praising God for all of the blessings that we have, for the healing that was given to us on the cross, for the treasures of heaven that was opened up to us or at our disposal. Wow. And that's what it says. From the fruit of his mouth, a man is satisfied with good, and the work of a man's hand comes back to him. Powerful words for living today, and a powerful insight into our Father's heart. So I love you guys. Happy April. Looking forward to a wonderful month of spring here as all things become new and as we watch God's glory come forth. Thank you for joining me, and we'll chat again tomorrow.